The thing is that we all have to be a little more proactive with the whole process. I would love to see downtown Eugene be an equivalent to Sedona, Scottsdale, Santa Fe. There's no reason why we're not. If we want a real arts district, why can't we have West Broadway dedicated to the arts, the visual arts in particular? I think that's what we need. That will bring in the tourists. That will bring in the tourist dollar. That will make us an art destination.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate stories this year is that we lost 3 art galleries through the year. Now, I know there's probably some people thinking, well, if you guys are putting art on the streets, what's happening is maybe the art galleries aren't making it. But no, that's not how it works. Actually, the galleries like us because we cultivate their galleries. We have art in places near there. People can actually find galleries like the New Zone or like the Oregon Arts Alliance by coming down and finding our storefront art. So we think that there's room for everybody in this town for art.
I think right now we're going through some growing pains. To be honest, there are just the 3 of us that are doing most of the work, 98% of the work here. And we're growing fast, which is what we wanted, but we had also hoped that some of our members would be a little bit more involved with the whole process. And since we now have a place to work out of, I'm hoping that we can become a little bit more organized and actually be getting a little more help for some of the processes. And there's more that we want to do. That's the other thing. There's an awful lot more that we want to accomplish as Eugene Storefront Art Project, but we can't do it if we're bogged down in the day-to-day things that we're having to do now. And part of it is the installations. We need help from the artists to help with the installations. That's just one part of it.
In the coming year, Paula, Marc, and I are going to be involved really with more administrational work. We're going to be working with a grant writer. We're going to be finding sponsorship, and that's going to be our focus so we can end up being more involved. We have some pretty big ideas, but it takes financing, and that financing takes time to get, and that's going to be our focus besides the visual work.
Right.
Speaking of financing, just reminding everyone that the Eugene Storefront Art Project is really solely dependent upon donations and grants, and there is at our blog, esapblog.blogspot.com, there is a donate button, a PayPal button there. And this is what keeps us going. We have to actually buy supplies to do these installations. We bought 40 easels this year, something like that, in order to display the art. We bought paper. We've bought supplies. We've bought pens. We've bought a lot of different things just to publicize events. When you come to our events, there's usually wine, cheese, crackers, juice. We have to pay for that. There's laminating of the artist signs. We have to pay for that. And it comes basically out of our 3 pockets. We really need not only more participation on the part of volunteers, but we need the community to step up. The Eugene and Springfield community, if you really think that storefront art is going to bring commerce and change and beauty into your community, please get involved one way or the other, because without it, we're going to die in the vine. You know?
Well, the truth of the matter is, folks, like if you've been looking at our Facebook postings, especially the ones I post, without you, we're nothing. Art and its audience, we need you. You are the audience. We absolutely need you.
We just got a question in on BlackBerry. How do people get involved? One way is you can contact our email, Eugene Storefront Art Project, all one word, Eugene Storefront Art Project at gmail.com. Just write to us. Introduce yourself. If you're an artist, we'll send you something. If you look on our blog, there's a thing that says how to submit art. Submit some art. Submit some JPEGs to paula.goodbar at gmail.com.
One thing is that we would love to see here in Eugene or Springfield, well, we really love to see it here in Eugene, is eventually down the road a building that's dedicated to studio space and workspace. One thing that's lacking here in Eugene, and why artists don't stay here in Eugene once their career or is the lack of workspace. There is no rental studio space here in Eugene to say of. There's very little. and we would love to see eventually. And that's one of our goals, to be able to do that in the coming years. But once again, we need you.
Yeah,
without you, we're nothing.
It can only happen with you, and we have a lot of thank yous to go around. I mean, you might hear the Eugene Storefront Art Project here just kind of bitching about, oh, gee, there's not enough help. But we have been helped by so many different people this year. Let's talk about some of our current installations and what we have up. One of my favorite concepts of storefront art is not just putting a gallery of pictures in an empty space. It's making that empty space be the statement itself. Example, 980 Oak is where Samurai Duck's kitchen used to be. We kind of turned it into, what would you call that, Paula? A bakery? A cake installation.
Yeah, it's more on a whimsical theme. We've got birds, Marilyn Kent's birds, and her beautiful pink girly type paintings. Yeah, and then we have beautiful cakes from Shirley Coonley down in Monroe.
But the way this place is set up, it looks almost like there's a bakery. People have said, hey, it looks like there's a bakery in.
Yeah, we wanted it to look more like an actual business that's open.
Well, the installation we had in there before that was absolutely incredible. That was Tony Brown. He did a complete installation, and that was just absolutely
If anyone
incredible.
forgets, it's the one with the plastic people eating plastic toys, and it was called Eat, Sleep, and Drink, I think, and he had all these different bottles filled with colored water and things to eat, and little teddy bears sleeping on the ground there.
And they were all blue and red.
Everything was blue and red, and it was so funny. It came out. Didn't that come out right around time of the elections? Or no, it was July 4th.
Right.
That's right. It was red, white, and blue for July 4th.
We would love to see more installations. So any of you installation artists out there, we currently can't commission you, but please do send us your submissions anyhow. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, we want you to go by.
And eventually down the road, and if you're really in need of a commission, eventually down the road, we hope to be able to commission you.
We want our artists to go look at the storefronts that we have right now. Look at that and to submit a proposal for what you would like to do at that space. That's what we're hoping to do. We don't get very many of those at all. And that's what I want to encourage right now, because those storefronts might be available 2 months after what is there. We have a 60-day installation most of the time. So we try to rotate it out 60 to 90 days. And if you want in that space and you have a particular idea, that's what we want to see.
Especially with 167 West Broadway and also with the old Diva space. We'd love to see complete installations in those windows. So please do send us your ideas.
Yeah, and the nightmare of this project, the Eugene Storefront Art Project, is there's times when we don't have any storefront owners or any property owners stepping up and saying, hey, I've got a space for you. We've got tons of art, but we don't have the space. Conversely, sometimes we have tons of space, but not enough art or time. So it's a tricky balance, this whole thing we're doing. And like I said earlier, it's the three of us. The Eugene Storefront Art Project basically is on our backs, and we really, really need more people to chip in and get involved.
What has happened as of late, especially like with second Friday, our last art walk, store owners have come to us and asked us to do pop-up galleries in their space. We have a pop-up gallery coming for Springfield at their space, but we're going to need help for that.
Yeah. Also, maybe Jazzercise is thinking about
That's exactly the place I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, we're getting down to the end of this hour. This is Marc Time from the Sunday Morning Hangover interviewing Marc Gunther, Peter Herley, and Paula Goodbar, founders of the Eugene Storefront Art Project.